Hey everybody, it's me, Spence. I just wanted to take kind of a different turn with some of my videos and actually do a little bit of a tutorial video today. I will be kind of teaching you how to thicken a wig. Now, obviously, this is a no-brainer. Obviously, you probably already knew this, but this is kind of a interesting way that I have done this. Obviously, a lot of wigs are flat, and they don't have much body to them, like especially if you need them to get like stupidly spiky. Now, I know a lot of my friends have said like, oh, I need to thicken a wig, and I'm like, or not thicken, I need to thin out a wig. I'm like, thin out? Why would you want to thin it out? But because personally I've only had flat wigs, so anytime I've had a wig that's ever been like actually thick, it's been a blessing. Because I have a big old head, and when I have a thin wig on, it looks really bad. So, obviously, what you are going to need, well, these are what I recommend. You don't necessarily need them per se, but they are definitely good to have. So, obviously, you would want a very fine-tooth comb. I prefer this one because this one does the best type of kinking, or, well, at least back combing, because you're going to be doing a lot of back combing. A very wide tooth comb. Obviously, this one is also like for parting and whatnot, but I love this because it's basically, you can use this on, well, a lot of the tools I use on my own hair, whatever. But this one is amazing, especially for undoing all these kinks. So what you'll also need, suggestions by the way, this one, it also helps to have some of these just for regular wig care and like even just for whatever. But anyway, an oil sheen. This one's just a cheap one from Walmart. This one has olive oil, argan oil, and coconut oil. It's just cheapy. You don't really need anything special. And then I personally love this. Is one of the best hairsprays I've ever had. You don't necessarily need this when you kink stuff up, only unless you're actually styling it while you're going. If you need to keep the foof up, like basically if you're spiking a wig. Like I had to do, I was making a malachite from Steven Universe wig, and I had to kind of style as I poofed it up. And you will also need hair dryer to keep it in. So anyway, I am only going to show you guys half of the wig, so that way, you know, you're not being bored trying to, I'll probably speed it up or do something. But anyway, yeah. And I've already pre-styled this wig. This is actually going to be Giorno from part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Obviously, he doesn't normally have pink, but I'm doing a very stylized version of Giorno. I'm doing the one version where there's all those like flowers and everything, and he's got that really crazy pose, or he, like, what is it, I don't even know. But yeah, he's got, basically Giorno has like this really crazy mullet, and it is so weird looking. And also, thin wigs can also be a pain in the butt to try to spike and back comb because they're so freaking thin. And that is why you don't want that. We are going to need to back comb the crap out of this freaking guy because, just like Giorno, he don't give a fuck. Obviously, yes, back comb the crap out of the wig. Make sure that bitch is nice and kinked up. Excuse my language. Because if it's not kinked up, it's not going to spike correctly. And like you can see right here, it's already kind of get the little anime do where he's all popped up. And this wig obviously is already pre-styled for Giorno. I bought like a 22-inch beige blonde wig from Cosplay DNA, and then I went to Easley's and bought the pink extensions. Or was it Sally's? I don't remember. It was one of those places. Easley's now has extensions, and that's very exciting. But they're all in like weird colors. I say weird, but alright. And also too, I highly suggest investing in one of those wig clamps that go on the back of chairs. Because most of the time I'm having to deal with like wiggly whack going on here. I haven't bought one because like I'm just dumb and I never think to buy one. Because I just think, hey, I don't need it. I'm too cool for school. I can do it with my feet. I have. I've styled a wig between my feet before. Not the, you know, TMI, but but yeah, as you can see already, I've already got all this like Final Fantasy hair going on the side. And you can do this with pretty much almost any wig. I know some of you were like, hairdryer, what the hell? Because obviously most wigs are heat resistant. This is I say semi-heat resistant, but every wig is pretty much like, you can destroy any wig with any kind of heat. But most of the time it is a heat resistant wig. The reason why some wigs will get more destroyed than others, obviously, like a Halloween wig will not last through a blow drying because obviously it's not heat resistant, it's just really weak fibers. This obviously is a heat resistant wig because it won't freaking die if I put it too close to the hairdryer. So, voila. Now for the detangling. Now the reason why I suggested the oil sheen is especially if you have a really long wig. Oil sheen helps you out so much. With a short wig, you may or may not need it just in case. Like if you just need to make it poofy and you want the wig to look a little less thirsty, definitely use the oil sheen. And obviously when I say a thirsty wig is basically when, you know, it's got so many like freaking kinks and it just looks dry and awful. Oil sheen helps. Or at least just bathe it or soak it overnight in a warm water and fabric softener bath, or at least hot water and fabric softener. And then just let that sit overnight in either your bathtub or a plastic tub or whatever you've got, so that way it can alter the fibers again to make them nice and smooth. And now you can definitely see a difference between this side and this side. This side is flat and this side is not. Because obviously you can also see that it gave a little more body as opposed to this side. Now obviously you can see where I had to cut it and trim it, or the way I styled it, but you can actually see that it has more body now because I poofed it up. And you can also see that there's a much bigger difference than flat over here and foofy over here, and it pops back up again because it gave it all that extra body. So now it's a little easier to foof it up and style it. Because I noticed a lot of wigs that I buy that have the spikes already in them, they're just kinked at the frickin' ends. So I was like, well, I can do that. So obviously, if you have a wig that you need to foof up and spike, make it all nice and pretty like that. Or basically, if you need to J-rock it or animeify, like whatever wig you need, and they're frickin' flat. And you obviously have to style it the way you want to. This wig obviously did not come as a frickin' mullet, but I had to make it that way. But yes, as you can see, I just basically foofed it up like that. But if I did it with this side, it doesn't do it because there's no body. So obviously, that is how I got the wig. And also too, if you need to like spike it a certain way. Obviously use the red, well, I say redkin. You can use almost any one. Like I know one that a lot of people use is the, what is it called? I don't know, it's the yellow one that looks like a blowhorn. It's the, Schwarzschild? I don't remember, it's yellow with, you know what I mean, it's the Got To Be spray or whatever it is. I can never remember the company name, it's German or Austrian or something, but it basically holds really well, or whatever, like, Aquanet, you know, whatever is your go-to hairspray. I just love Redken 28 because it frickin' like could spray an apple in the air and hold it there. So yeah, if you guys need to do that, it's nice, it's very pretty. So yeah, that is how you thicken a wig. See you guys later.